Very good morning and thank you for tuning in as we get to all the top stories we're tracking for you this morning. Yes, after the statement that was made by Donald Trump on social media platform X, where he's openly come in support of Hindus, and he's also called out the chaos in Bangladesh, saying that what is happening against Hindu minorities in Bangladesh is certainly not acceptable. VHP has welcomed this statement and also gone on to say that he's the only leader in the West who recognizes the atrocities that are being carried out against Hindus. VHP coming in open support of the statement made by Donald Trump on social media platform X, where he also went on to say that if he comes to power in the next US presidential polls, then he will ensure stronger ties with India with his good friend Narendra Modi. And on his very statement where he's pledging all his support for Hindus, also recognizing how Hindu minorities are in trouble in Bangladesh, VHP has come out in support of that statement. They welcomed this statement and said that he's the only leader in the West who understands what Hindus are going through. Let's listen into this statement by the VHP.
ये एक स्वागत कदम है। देखिए कि कोई वर्ल्ड लीडर और ख़ासकर अमेरिकन लीडर इस बात को एक्नॉलेज कर रहा है कि हाँ, बांग्लादेश में जो कुछ हुआ है वो गंभीर था और नहीं होना चाहिए था और इसी चीज़ें रुकनी चाहिए थी। तो इस एक स्वागत कदम है, लेकिन साथ ही साथ एक बड़ी अजीब विचित्र विडंबना है देश की और दुनिया की कि जब हिंदुओं के ऊपर हमले होते हैं, हिंदुओं को सताया जाता है, तो न सिर्फ बाकी वर्ल्ड लीडर्स जो है ना चुप्पी साध लेते हैं, अपितु साथ ही साथ उस ऑपरेशन को ऑपरेशन नहीं माना जाता, उसको उत्पीड़न को उत्पीड़न नहीं माना जाता, ऐसी खबरों को छुपाया भी जाता है। तो ये स्वागत कदम है। मैं कहता हूँ डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ही क्यों, यूएन सेक्रेटरी जनरल को और बाकी लोगों को भी इस बारे में और यूएन एचआरसी को भी आगे आना चाहिए। बांग्लादेश में जो कुछ हुआ और हो रहा है बेहद गंभीर है।
And I'd now like to welcome our guest joining us on the broadcast, Dr. Sampath Shivangi, who's Republican National Party delegate, and Prashanta Kumar, who is a political analyst from Bangladesh. I'd like to cut across to Dr. Sampath first on Donald Trump making the statement, recognizing how Hindu minorities need to be protected, also calling out the chaos in Bangladesh. Really want a further answer from you on how the Republicans plan to take this on, not just with Bangladesh, but towards the larger protection of Hindus across the globe if Trump comes back to power.
Yes, he will do. You may remember a couple of weeks ago, he questioned Vice President Kamala Harris' origin. He said she is Indian heritage, and she claims to be Black American. That's because of vote bank. Because if she says Black American, she will get 20% votes, and if she says Indian, she's going to get 1 to 2% of the votes. So she's looking after her interest, not the interest of India or her heritage or her mother's or grandfather's heritage. That is very true. I am the first one in the US to question this, her heritage 6 years ago, when she was not even a vice president. She was senator trying to run for vice president. I questioned her this. She never has come up with open answers. And naturally, she doesn't want to lose the majority of the African-American votes. I understand that, but Trump even questioned her, I think 3 weeks ago in the press conference. He declared that Kamala Harris is of Indian heritage. She is claiming to be Black American, which is not true. Of course, her father is from Jamaica. She may have some ancestry of African Americans. It doesn't mean that she's an African American. Of course, it's her interest and what helps her, she's going to do that. And so President Trump, we have to salute him. And not only he said that he's a friend of India, he's a fan of Indian Americans and Indians. So I think that we have to take it seriously. And That's the reason even in the election today, we don't know Kamala Harris. People may say she has a good chance, but she's not sure. Many of her supporters are not sure. Trump may be still the winner because of his confusion. She never held any public office to be the head of the state. She was attorney. I know she may know the law, but I don't think she knows the administration. If that is the case, we wouldn't have had millions of illegal immigrants coming to US who are rapists, who are criminals, who are murderers, who have mental illness, and they're all in the US. And of course, when Trump comes, he's going to let them go out. That is the policy. And many people may not like it, but that is the truth. I think I stood for Trump all these 8 years. And you mentioned I was the only delegate from Indian Americans to support Trump in Milwaukee, Wisconsin convention. But I think now people have realized what Trump stands for, and many Indian Americans will vote for him.
Right. Dr. Sampath, I want to discuss this point with you further, but before that, I would also like to bring in Prashant on the pressure that is mounting on Bangladesh over what is happening against Hindu minorities. And while India has been breaking this up over and over again, now it is even America that is standing up against it very strongly.
Thank you. You know that the Donald Trump yesterday condemned from what happening in Bangladesh minorities. Actually, it's not a single word to just follow how minorities attacked in Bangladesh. You know that this is a long-term procedure. After 1947, 1971, we see that severally minorities Hindus are attacked, killings, snatching, everything, every mob justice years. So America, the next election is America. So America have the total, especially Donald Trump, he is a very gigantic leader, and he knows what is happening in Bangladesh still now. You know that the Bangladesh targets that change the government. So there's a new government is coming. So at that time, you see that what's happening of Hindu minorities at that time. So severely attacked from Hindu temples, severely attacked from Hindu leaders, and you will be very surprised to know that it's 2 or 3 days ago, the Hindu son, who is rights to the Hindu minorities, and some of the people case file against. So how the scenario? So if you talk about in Bangladesh in ground zero reality is very tough enough. So some pressure group, some other, they can just click you and just attack you in some meticulous point. So that's the issue. Actually, the Donald Trump says very wonderfully recognize that there is some happening in that. So I am very grateful from the Donald Trump, and he can just the point, introduce the point, and also the Indian government what they can severally mention that what the positions of Bangladeshi Hindu minorities is that. So it's happening. I think it's a very noted for Bangladeshi Hindus, and Bangladeshi Hindus now it's a relaxation period because there is no one can say so that we can talk about the Hindu solidarity, the world, but no one can give the support in a front line. So I think, and my personal observation, Donald Trump is the guy who can just recognize the issues, and he is one of the world's wonderful leader and world of a powerful leader. He can just recognize it, and also he can just follow what is happening in Bangladesh after 15 August and 1971, the historical period, what Hindus radically attacked by the persons who are talk about their rights and their fundamentals realities. So I think is a very point for that.
All right, I request you gentlemen to do stay on as we play out more reactions, after which I come back to you.
देखिए ट्रम्प की ये स्टेटमेंट बहुत वेलकम स्टेटमेंट है परंतु ये समझना चाहिए कि एक तरह से ये ट्रंप एक तीर से तीन शिकार कर रहे हैं। पहला शिकार जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है उन्हें इस समय अपनी इलेक्शन जीतना। तो इंडियन अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी जो अमेरिका में है, जो हिंदू कम्युनिटी, उसको लुभावने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं वो अपने वोटों के लिए। जो स्विंग स्टेट्स हैं, कई स्टेट्स ऐसी हैं जहां पर पिछली इलेक्शन में बाइडन या ट्रंप जो भी 10,000 20,000 के वोट के मार्जिन से मात्र जीते थे, उन स्टेट्स में करीब 1 लाख से 1.5 लाख इंडियन अमेरिकन हैं। तो अगर कुछ इंडियन अमेरिकन इधर से उधर हो जाते हैं तो पूरी की पूरी स्टेट पे प्रभाव पड़ सकता है। तो एक तीर तो ये है। दूसरा तीर यह है कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी और भारत से अपने अच्छे रिश्तों को दिखाना और आने वाले समय में भारत से कोऑपरेट करके इंटरनेशनल अफेयर्स में पार्टिसिपेट करना। वो दिखा रहे हैं भारत से अच्छे रिश्ते चाहते हैं। भाई, भारत उगता हुआ सूरज है। और तीसरा जो निशाना है वो उनका है कमला हैरिस के ऊपर, कि भाई कमला हैरिस की फॉरेन पॉलिसी बिल्कुल इनइफेक्टिव रही है दुनिया भर में, यूक्रेन से लेके इजराइल से लेके बांग्लादेश तक। तो ये तीन निशाने हैं इस एक तीर से।
All right, Dr. Sampath, I'd like you to respond to what Rabinder Sachdeva just said, because he is saying that by Trump making this statement, he is basically trying to lure the Hindu American vote bank. Fact is that he has certainly touched the right nerve. He says that he will protect Hindus and he will strengthen ties with India. He's called Narendra Modi a good friend. And most importantly, that also goes against Kamala Harris, because while Kamala Harris had been trying to bring up her Indian descent, but that has not come out very strongly clearly because of how Trump has also taken on her. And she has not touched the nerve that Trump has. What is your sense on it? Is it a political move, or is it going to have a larger meaning if Trump comes back to power?
I had to say, everybody has a self-interest. So Trump naturally has self-interest that he wants to win the presidency of America. He has visited India. He is a friend of India. When Modi ji came to US a month ago, he wanted to meet him badly, but somehow it didn't happen. He's showing his interest towards India, and he's very close to Indian Americans. Whenever we meet, he comes and hugs us, saying that we are his brothers. So he has a soft corner for India and Indians. I think we must use it. Whether he's lip sympathy, but we have to test that when he becomes president. But I see, just a couple of weeks ago, Indians were pro-Harris, but that has changed. You go to any WhatsApp messages, all the Indian Americans who are a little bit have higher education, who are in the field of medicine or who are in the field of political science, they all have come in favor of President Trump, and I said, he's a good friend of India, he'll be good to India. Do you know Kamala Harris? She is against 370, and she's against inclusion of Kashmir in India. I mean, who would accept her? People will not dare to say this, but I'm saying this, but that is the truth. See, I have been involved with 6 presidents of United States. I worked with the 3 presidents in the past, so I know the political history and background. Kamala Harris has refused to identify as an Indian American or Indian heritage because, during the first time Prime Minister Modi came and visited the White House, Prime Minister Modi in this second room, they had meeting her and Ms. Kamala Harris. He actually literally begged her to come to India on a national visit. And she went all over the world except India. What does it show it to you? What does it show? It really needs a lot of guts from Indians to say all this, but I'm saying because there is the truth. I'm a more Indian than more than Americans, because I live here for 50 years, but still I have a lot of relation, a lot of my original attachment to India. I will tell the truth. I'm not trying to please America or Indians.
Point taken, sir. I want to thank you both for speaking to Republic this morning as we continue to get more reactions. So on this story, for the moment, we also shift focus to other news.